Welcome to the Making Real Estate Fun podcast and video blog. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, joined as always by Keith Hoffman from Draper and Kramer Mortgage and Taji Clark from Coldwell Banker.
Hello.
Our guest today is all of our good friend Troy Golden from Golden Group Real Estate. He's a commercial real estate broker. He represents tenants exclusively. So we're going to talk today about commercial real estate and how to pick a tenant broker to represent you. So thanks for being here with us today, Troy.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. I appreciate it.
And before we dive in, I should say we're at Cellar, one of my favorite places in downtown Downers Grove. And Tom Weiler from Weiler Studios is nice enough to do our video for us. So check out weilerstudios.com if you like the video. So Troy, tell us about what a tenant rep broker does for commercial real estate.
Well, a tenant rep broker is, I'm a lot like Taji. When you're going to buy a house, oftentimes you should and do hire someone like Taji to help you find your house and negotiate the price. I'm like that, except when someone like you who owns a business is looking for space for their business, you would retain me to help find the space and then negotiate the lease or purchase agreement.
And that's not hypothetical. I did retain Troy about 4 years ago to get us in our office. So yeah, and Troy, we are in a bar this loud, so make sure you speak up so everybody can hear you. So, go ahead, Troy.
Just as Taji, I'm sure, would agree, the best people in real estate tend to specialize either by neighborhood or by region or by property type, and most brokers either choose residential or commercial, and within commercial most brokers further specialize, and I do something known as tenant representation, which means I don't represent landlords. I represent people like you, business owners who are looking for space. So
why should someone hire a tenant rep broker?
Well, you're an attorney, and you know that there's some. If you're going to court, you would want to hire a public defender because there's someone on the other side going against you. It's for the same reason. Landlords retain a broker themselves to get the best return on their investment, because for them, the building is an investment and they want to get a high return on the investment. Once your business gets to a certain size, the deal will be complex enough and the cost will be significant enough so that you need someone who goes out into the market every day and negotiates leases every day so that you get a good deal. And there's other reasons as well. You also want to save time, save money, save headaches, save stress. But for the same reason, you'd hire an accountant to do your accounting, to hire a plumber to do your plumbing. Experts tend to help out when problems are big enough.
So you actually not only find the location, you actually negotiate for the tenant.
Yes, that's correct, Keith.
Okay.
Usually the businesses go through a process somewhat like this. First, you started the business and you're working from home and you don't need a broker for obvious reasons. Then you might get your first space and it's small enough because it's just you and one or two other people.
Okay.
And you don't need a broker when the space is small enough because you're usually sharing space from a friend who you know, or it's just a small deal, so there's not that much room for negotiation.
Right.
But once you're in your second or third space and you have about 10 employees, 2,000 square feet, you're signing a lease for 3 years, that's when you need a broker, because that's when the potential for savings is large enough and the potential mistakes can be big enough. That's when you hire someone like me.
Right. So when somebody contacts a broker to help them find a place, are there, like, do you specialize in one type or another, or do most brokers that are going to be working with, people or businesses to find tenants or locations, are they going to actually, specialize in one area versus another, or are they pretty much open?
Most brokers can and should specialize, and when you're choosing someone, you should ask questions about their experience and their qualifications.
Okay.
So you should look for a broker who specializes in the property type that you're looking for.
Okay.
If you're looking for an office, you should look for a broker who has most of his experience in office space.
Perfect.
Retail. I mean, if you're looking for a restaurant, you should hire a broker who mostly helps other clients looking for restaurants.
Gotcha.
And obviously it goes with, like Taji is probably going to say, location as well. If you're looking for a space in downtown Chicago, you want a broker who knows that neighborhood in Chicago very well. I do mostly the western suburbs. I know DuPage County really well. So it's
Okay.
both property type, location, and then finally, some brokers like me represent mostly tenants. Some represent mostly landlords.
So who would be your ideal client? You know, is there an ideal type of client? Is there an ideal size for the business? Small, medium, large? What is your ideal client?
Well, somewhat, for me, I have a pretty niche practice in that I help businesses that tend to be using between 2,000 to 15,000 square feet of office space, usually leasing. That means between 10 to 150 employees, mostly in the western suburbs. Every broker has a different range. So for people listening to this show, think about, look for brokers, again, property type, size, landlord versus tenant, and location. But for me, I go after what I call mid-sized businesses that are tenants in the western suburbs.
So when somebody is going out to look for somebody like yourself, as in a residential also, like Taji, they always wonder how you're paid.
Yes.
Are you paid by the person that you are representing, or is the landlord going to be paying you?
It's similar to when you're buying a house
Okay.
and you retain the buyer's broker, in that the seller pays a buyer's broker's commission. Likewise, I am the fiduciary agent of my client. I owe him statutory and common law duties. It's spelled out in the Real Estate Act of Illinois.
Yep.
But I negotiate, and oftentimes I'll have an agreement with my client. They don't always sign an agreement, but I usually give one to him just so it's clear what our relationship is.
Yeah.
But then I negotiate a separate agreement with the landlord about how much I'm paid. And that can be separate for every different landlord, has something different that they have.
Sure.
But usually the landlord will take some of the commission that he's going to pay to his leasing broker and give that plus a little bit more to me. It's usually how it works.
Okay.
So let's talk about the process a little bit, because I've worked with you several times. And I'm a commercial real estate attorney. I can negotiate a lease, but I don't necessarily know what the going rates are, price per square footage. So I always need to rely on Troy to say, hey, you know, and even in renegotiating my lease, hey, am I getting a good deal? What, you know, is this the right price per square footage? And when I've worked with you in the past, and we're working together right now, Troy's helping me find business lounge locations for Naperville and Tinley Park. And basically you give me a printout that shows the like a map of the different locations that meet my specifications. It shows how much price per square foot and gives me someone to reach out to. And then I basically will get a showing of the property, and is that a basic assessment of the process? Or?
Usually, for most of my clients, because for you, we work a little differently because I know you really well.
You are special.
Yeah. Most of my clients come to me with a problem. Oftentimes, they need a new location for some reason. They're outgrowing their current location, or it's just some problem with the existing location. And my job is to take them to or to find a new location and get them to what's called the letter of intent, which is not the legally binding. It's not a lease, it's not a contract, but it's a piece of paper that frames the broad terms of what will become
So the
lease.
price, square footage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I iron out the legalese of the lease.
Yeah, it's the economic terms like the rent, how many months of free rent, and all the terms that you would then later plug in to the lease. So I get the tenant about 90% of the way there through a negotiation. Then they really need to retain an attorney like yourself to actually negotiate the final 10% in terms of the lease. But I also, in terms of the problem in the beginning, that can vary somewhat, because sometimes clients come to me saying, I need a new location. Sometimes they come to me saying, I need to renegotiate my existing location. And sometimes they come to me just saying, I don't know what I need, but I'm paying too much. Can you help? And those are, in general, the three types of clients I have. And it almost always ends with me having some sort of letter of intent and a location for my client, and then I hand it off to a qualified real estate attorney like yourself.
Cool. Well, any other pieces of advice you want to give people that are potential tenants looking for a home for their business?
Oftentimes my clients, I'm the first broker that they've ever used, because they just haven't heard of having to use one before, because they're a relatively new business. So just once you get up to about 2,000 square feet, 10 employees, there's really no downside to using someone like me, because the amount of money that you save is substantial, and the landlord, you don't pay my commission out of pocket, and
Right.
the landlord is going to retain his own broker, so it just doesn't make any sense to go into a negotiation not represented. It's just,
Sure, you wouldn't go to a friend to have your tooth pulled. I know that.
Yeah. And just to reiterate a point I was already talking about, when you're interviewing brokers, look for people who have the right qualifications and expertise.
All right, so Troy, if people want to interview you and see if you might be a good fit, how can they reach you?
My website's goldengroup.com. The last three letters as in CRE for commercial real estate. Or my cell is 630-805-2463.
All right, Keith, how can people reach you?
A couple of ways. You can go to my website, dkmortgage.com/Hoffman, or you can just pick up the phone and call me, 630-306-LOAN. That's 5626, and that's probably the easiest way.
Taji?
Best way to reach me is always my website, just tajiclark.com. All my contact information is there, my social channels. Any way that you want to reach me, you can find it on there.
And if you'd like to schedule an initial consultation with me, we do those for free. We do almost every area of law, but I handle our commercial leases personally, and we also do residential real estate. Call me at 630-324-6666. That's 630-324-6666. You can find more of our podcasts and videos and all the cool places we're visiting in town at makingrealestatefun.com. You can also check out my legal podcast, video blog, and blog at learn-about-law.com, and go to seizeyourbusiness.com for my business podcast and video blog. Thank you to Tom Weiler of Weiler Studios for doing the video for us. He does a great job. If you need a video for your real estate showing or for your business, go to weilerstudios.com. That's Weiler with a Y. Thanks so much, Troy.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having
All
me.
right.
Oh, before we leave, what are we drinking today, guys?
This is a cold beer. I couldn't even tell you.
Aren't you thinking of the Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, I guess that's what it is.
How about you, Taji?
I've got a house Riesling here. I'm a Riesling fan, so this is what I have
And I've got a house Pinot Noir. We're going low end, but it's very good today. Cellar Doors is a great place. I do a lot of meetings here with my friends and clients and referral partners, so they always make us feel welcome. So cheers, guys.
Cheers, gentlemen.